Peace and love. I'm going to go ahead and try to break down this Nat Turner story real quick. Birth of a Nation. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same game. It's the same Matrix. It's the same virtual reality hologram. It's just a different so-called, they call it dimensions. I would say it's just a different arcade game. And they're just changing the system. Hopefully this doesn't go over your guys' head. But basically, the same thing that was happening to brothers like Nat Turner and all of our ancestors are still happening now. Different degrees, but we got to understand that the so-called enemy, the nature of the threat, has spread out through the planet. Now they're in the water, they're in the air, they're in the food. We already knew the education system, and that's what I loved about the movie as well. How it showed you one thing, it did show you how he stole the Bible. But that's another thing. But when Brother Nat Turner got the information, he started getting smarter. And the white folks, the white woman, caught on to it. And then she went to the sister, the mother goddess, and said, he's speaking sounds. One thing throughout the movie, if you notice, the white boys and everybody would crack jokes on how we could not talk, how we were not accepting the English language. The movie starts off showing you the African knowledge. So we already know that low key is talking about stay away from Christianity. Let's get out that Bible and return to our roots. Because that's what it's really all about. It's really about self-preservation. And even though people are going to say, well, he used the Bible, you understand he was the only black kid on the slave quarters in the county to be able to read, supposedly. Okay? So when a person has knowledge of self, not even knowledge of self, just a little bit of knowledge more than anybody, they either can manipulate people with it or they can show love and try to spread it. So eventually Brother Nat Turner was getting used by the white boy, and the white boy was his friend. I've experienced that growing up in the suburbs of Southern California. You grow up with white boys who are your best friends. You teach them so much. You guys play hide and seek, and the orange groves do all BB guns and all sorts of shit. And when they get older, not all of them, but the majority of them will say, you're a nigger. You're a fucking nigger. And so I did like the fact, even though people might not like this, it did show that there are some people who are less melanated than us. Because if you notice, the slave master's wife who taught Nat to read, she always, you saw her with braids. She might have been a mulatto or something. Gotta catch things. So we can't. You see so-called white folks with freckles. They might have been black 2 generations ago. And then you see people who are light-skinned or black. They might have been white 2 generations ago. You know, look at my hair. Shit, my great-grandfather was white. And you know how that happened. They talked about that because that was a constant thing, the rape culture. You know, how they used to rape our women and then cheat on their wives. We probably learned that a lot from them because they teach us a lot about that. How the slave master used to fuck the black woman. They used to have parties and rape the black woman, but then treat her like a savage. And today, they use the black woman against us. They talk about the welfare system, how certain women have children and do dirty shit to the men, even though us brothers got to get it together too. But that comes from the slave quarters as well. But when it comes to religion, the slave master, his friend back in the day, who basically had more money than him in power and gunpowder to rule him. Because the white boy didn't even know the Bible. The fucking preacher, if you notice, was the drunk. You know, I drink a little. So you got to catch these things. Notice how the white boy is listening to the brother talk and speak. He's smoking his cigar or weed, whatever he's got in his pipe. The black girls is lighting it for him. And if you notice society, a lot of these TV shows have a black woman, the white man's bitch. And you see a lot of black women either turning to the lesbian homosexual lifestyle or turning to white men. It's a program. It's not because brothers didn't work hard. Yes, all of us have things to work on. Especially myself too. Regardless of your color. But when we're talking about to build a nation, listen to the title. To build a nation. Build a nation. Nat Turner Story. Basically, we built the nation. Without us, as so-called black people, African Americans are niggers, you fucking nigger. That's what they would say. When we moved from Carson, white folks, when we moved where I stay, you fucking nigger. For real. Southern California is very, very, very racist too. Check out the Inland Empire. Learn about the KKK and white supremacists. They are here. And they are waiting for the day to kill us. And if we bow down, and those who do, we're going to be all locked in prison. You're either going to be on a plantation, which is a prison, or we're going to be free, having our own cities, our own nation, our own land. We have to have alliances with our brothers, our Mexican brothers and Native American brothers and sisters, even our Asian brothers, because they locked up the Japanese and treated them like shit as well. Even the Irish Sea, all you guys got to understand that you come back to us. We are the creators. We are Gizmo. We are Gizmo. And clearly, when Gizmo gets wet, you see what comes up out of them. Little reptilians. That's a little hint for people to know what's up. But back to the Nat Turner story. I just love the fact how they really implemented a lot of secret codes. Because when you're in Hollywood and get accepted and do all sorts of things, you cannot do certain things. You have to let them go in. And you know how the Jew goes. But one thing they showed Jesus. They showed you the white Jesus. And they showed you, if you notice on these slave masters or slave movies, they always show you that there were a group of other slaves who would look side eyes at the nigga preaching about God. And because that was the field house nigga. Because we got dark skinned niggas who are house niggas. Because when you watch the movie, what did the house nigga say? He's the one who fucking told. He's the one who fucking told. They should have. You already know what should have happened to him. Don't want to be a movie spoiler, but when the house Negro came, I thought they were going to chop his head off first. Because his light-skinned ass, I thought he was, when he was cutting the slave master's beard, I was like, oh, he's about to slit his throat in a few scenes. He didn't. So now we know that people who look dark, melanated, kinky hair are not always your friend. So right now, we have to be very careful as humanity, man and mankind, because whether you're mankind, you're going to be destroyed too. Because the top white people don't care about the poor white people and the Slavs, the Irish, and all y'all went to war too. And it's going to happen for you too. So the best advice would be to follow the true gods, the true ancestors of all of us, which is us, which is I, you know. And so Nat Turner, I am Nat Turner. I am a Malcolm X. I am a Tupac Shakur, you know. And all the other brothers, Che Guevara, Cesar Chavez, you know, all the great people who gave their life for us. Those people who went against the slave master's religion, which is a mind control program. Because if you study all these slave movies, they keep telling you, nigga, we made y'all niggas stupid by getting one of you motherfuckers. You weak. All y'all strong no matter what. But we gonna get one of y'all. We gonna manipulate you. Because you don't know. Just like a dog or an animal. And we're gonna send you out to the rest of the pack. And you're gonna hypnotize them. And that's exactly what happened. They used the Bible and religion to hypnotize us. So let's get out of the spell. Yes, I understand that people are going to have to be elementary, first grade, K through 12 to get to certain levels of thought. Just like myself, I still have a long way to go. It's infinite, so it doesn't end, which is great. But let you know, it's not always an easy road. So basically, I'll try to end it soon. They're still killing black people. They're still hanging us. They're still killing us like dogs in the street. They got slave quarters, which are fucking prisons. The White House looks like a White House slave plantation. And who do they have in the White House right now? A house nigga. Barack Obama. And what happened when this black man or house negro mulatto white boy, because he's not one of us, because it's in your heart. Under Barack Obama, do I have to start naming all the fuckery that's been happening to black people? The Tyler Perry movies where it's cool to be a transvestite? The fuckery in hip-hop and rap? The love and hip-hop bullshit that made relationships fuck up? Cops are killing brothers in the street left and right. Cities like Chicago, New Orleans, everywhere in the United States where there's black people, it's fucked up. The homosexual movement, lesbian movement, huge. Much love to all people. That's your business. But the point of saying that is that how are you going to deal with a group of people more who are... And we're going to talk about that too, because I felt there was a lesbian scene in the movie when she said she wanted a wife and stuff. So then I'm thinking the white girls were fucking with the sisters too. The white girls were turning out the sisters. Because we know that the slave master used to rape the black man. He used to rape the little boys. Can you imagine how the black woman used to look at her man after letting a group of white men rape her? He can't do nothing but a woman's natural instinct, because that's how we know some of us make mistakes, because we want to protect our woman, make our money and do all this. But sometimes we're in situations in life to where it's like, it's the same thing. So what they do is they torture the black man to either submit. And those who don't submit either get killed, dead, or in jail, or your ass is broke. Even the educated brothers. There's a reason why Tupac Shakur was murdered. There's a reason why Malcolm X was murdered. Even Dr. King, he was a Christian. Like a Nat Turner, they blew his head off. This is a wake-up call. This is the final warning for you niggas and the rest of humanity. Not just black people, white people, Europeans, whatever you want to label yourself as. Energy, life. Life is being killed. They're killing the animals. Everything, I'm telling you, when you watch the movie, watch the dream scene and see who Nat Turner sees behind that tree. They're showing you the extraterrestrial. They're showing you the motherfuckers in the caves who came down from outer space and who control the white boys. The top white boys are controlled by extraterrestrial type of albino beings and other entities. Watch American Horror Story right now. Matter of fact, if you catch this, watch American Horror Story right now. Watch the human sacrifices. Watch the play on black people in the human colony. They're giving you hints. Why do you think all these black men and brothers have been getting killed under the blood moon? I said this on many years ago. These are rituals, Hollywood rituals. Disney, what does Mickey Mouse have? He has the top house. What does Minnie Mouse have? She has the witch. What is Disneyland all about? It's all about magic and witchcraft. Every single Disney movie is all about magic and witchcraft, unless it was The Lion King. And even they showed the monkey with the face paint doing his magic. Because that's the only way to defeat the enemy. The enemy isn't just going to beat us either right now. That's how smart it is. But you already know we got to stick together, because that's what it's going to come down to too. We're going to have allies. We have to be our own allies right now. So with the Birth of a Nation, it's letting us know what time it is. And at the end of the movie, what do they show you? Brothers and like our grandfathers fighting for this bullshit. My dad's a Vietnam vet suffering. Some bullshit. We did everything we were supposed to do, even harder. So basically, that the God of the Bible, all that stuff, if you want to use it, I understand. But we know what they were showing in that movie, in all these movies, what we have to do to defeat the enemy. It's not going to be guns. It's going to take that magic, that dark magic, those things that they're afraid of when we bang the drum. Why do you think it was illegal for us to read? They had to control every second and every bit of our thoughts. It's 2016 and people are still programmed for when we were enslaved. That's how meticulous and great it was. But they did it through torture. They didn't do it through being smart. They didn't do it through love. They did it through brutality. They did it worse than a lion trying to catch a hyena. That lets you know we are different. And I'll say it right now. Even though there's no such thing as race, because these are social constructs, by the way. They're just words. But you know what I mean. We are not the same. There's a difference between man and mankind. Like when they said they landed on the moon, they said this is a small step for man. A small step for you niggas, but a giant step for mankind. And I don't know if you guys used to watch WWF. You know who mankind is. That's the beast. You know, Harry and the Hendersons, Bigfoot. You know, motherfuckers with, and I could start saying a lot of shit. So at the end of the day, now we learn about the teachings of Elijah Muhammad and Malcolm X. We know that everybody got infiltrated by what they call COINTELPRO or the government, KKK, the Cracker, the Beast, whatever. But what Elijah Muhammad, Garvey, York, all these great brothers, we can bring everyone in to one melting pot and form a great idea. And I believe and know that's what time it is. To bring Dr. York's teaching, Tupac's, Malcolm's, Elijah Muhammad, Delbert Blair, Dr. Francis Cress Welsing, much love goddess, Compton. She did a good lecture out there back in the day, Compton College. So, and even rest in peace, Dr. Khalid Muhammad, and they tried to kill him in my hometown of Riverside, where I was raised, at UCR. Look that up. Anybody who studies knowledge, look up where they tried to kill. And Steve Coakley. Steve Coakley did a lecture, and they killed him too. Steve Coakley did a lecture about how they tried to kill Dr. Khalid Muhammad in Riverside, because you know where Riverside is. That's where Elijah Muhammad, Master Farad Muhammad was supposedly left or came from or left on a train, wherever. But it's a link to the Nation of Islam, the city of Riverside, because the city of Riverside used to be the richest city in all of the United States. And this is where the so-called headquarters of the Scientology building is. They got a castle over here. The Inland Empire, Riverside County. So it might get off topic, but it just basically all relates to our history and showing you that we've been getting tortured every time we come out of our mother's womb. We've been at war, and they use us now. They're using us. They use us in entertainment, just like they used us on the slave quarters. They used us with the music. They used us with the civil rights movement to get their shit done secretly. They used us when we let them into Egypt, in Kemet, on Mars, Orion's Belt. All these things, every time they come, somehow we let them in. And I do it. So I know there are brothers who are more advanced, and that's how you know. Malcolm's smarter than us. Tupac was smarter than us. Elijah Muhammad in the 1920s, if you read the book Message to the Black Man, that was made in the 1920s, brothers. Marcus Garvey, 1920s. The 1950s and 60s. These brothers were smarter than us. How is it that, and this is what happened, they let us go and they were in fear because we had knowledge. We were smarter than them. We built the houses. We built the White House. We built the slave plantations. We picked the cotton. We took care of their kids. We made them happy. We gave them religion. We gave them spirituality. We showed them how to love. Because when they were in them fucking caves, they were beating them women with bully clubs. The white man was beating on his chest and didn't know how to fucking talk. He was the one. They took us and took different groups of us and stole our language and made us think we didn't know our language. But if you look at the movie, what does it show you? What does he give his wife? We know that there were native and indigenous melanated people already here, but we know that we do also come from Africa as well. And we know there wasn't over 100 million black people in slave ships. We know that. But the fact of the matter is that they were showing you that we had knowledge itself. That the first slaves were practicing the black magic, the hoodoo, voodoo, whatever you want to call it, the Santeria now. That's what they were afraid of. They were afraid of you banging that drum, getting some herbs, and contacting the higher frequency, just like a Power 106, 99.1, Hot 97, or a podcast like a Taxstone, or the Drink Champs. When you get to levels, you reach certain levels of the mind, like in Master Leroy, the Last Dragon. He became the master when he finally got his own glow. And that's why I got to get better. Finding the woman. Finding our woman, protecting our woman, because she is it. She is everything. She stitched Nat Turner's back up. Then she died because of the pain. Our fathers are dying because they're looking at us and they don't know what to do. They're looking at us getting beaten, whipped like on the fucking slave quarters, and our dads don't know what to do. But they got our moms. So our moms still go to church. Our moms still want to go to work. Our moms go to church with white people now. She's forgotten her way because she's been hypnotized and brainwashed by the enemy who wants to destroy not just black people, but all of reality. Because when you look in his dreams, you'll see that they're showing you them extraterrestrials behind the motherfucking tree. They're showing you them pale motherfuckers who are in caves that the Zulus talk about. The Palladians, who Hitler talked about. Oh, and best believe they're ready. That house nigga told on them. That's why when they opened the guns, and you got to remember in the movie, the white boys were like, man, them Yankees is coming, and they out here tripping. But the Yankees were the ones who came with the arsenal because we were knocking the regular ones down because we outnumber them. All of us outnumber them. This is our planet. We are the original people. The animals loved us. The air loved us. The universe loved us. And clearly, the universe, or whatever higher name you want to call it, does. Well, we're not subscribing to no book that the white man wrote and gave to us anymore. Because it's a lie. Even Nat Turner said it. He was like, man, they tell me to love the slave master and bow down to him. And then the next verse, it tells me to rebel. He was like, and that's where everyone's looking at him like, nigga, we know. So that's really what it is. I'm going to do the best that I can do, which is teach, educate, kick knowledge hopefully around the world, and get what they say compensated with spreading the love. Because that's what you got to do. And with that, we create things. We get our land, we build our cities, we build our nations, and we protect it. And we don't have to deal with this Hollywood faggot-ass bullshit. I could talk about some other stuff, and we could get some good technology, because where do you think the white man gets his technology from? Where do you think the Asian man gets his technology from? You think the white man just crawled out of a cave and all of a sudden just learned to get certain gadgets and computers and shit? Who gave him that knowledge? Peace and love. We created this country. We created this world. We are back. The ancestors are back. Jason, July, August, September, October, November. Jason Elm Street Williams. Peace and love. I got to keep getting better, but so do you. We need to unite as one, but always remember, there's no such thing as one, because before one, there's zero. Infinity. And so don't ever let anybody tell you there's just one God, because before one, there's zero. There's nothing. We've been hypnotized. Wake up from the spell. Jason, the only name you can spell in the 12-month calendar. And it's kind of funny that they got movies about Jason and Elm Street. Check it. Peace.